When you did finally find out that it was King Von who died, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn. If Brian did that stupid last night, his still would have been alive.
Ever since King Von's death, Lil Tim hasn't stopped talking, but now it looks like he's taking it even further. Word is, the rapper just leaked exclusive footage tied to King Von's murder. With so many questions still surrounding that night in Atlanta, this new leak could change everything. Let's break it down. The night of the shooting. Let's set the scene and break down exactly what happened outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in the wee hours of November 6, 2020. Rising Chicago drill rapper King Von, government name Davon Bennett, caught the fade that turned fatal outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in downtown Atlanta. Von, only 26 at the time, had just dropped his debut album Welcome to O-Block a week prior and was probably still in celebration mode at what people say was an album release function. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and Atlanta PD, the whole situation popped off around 3:20 a.m. when two squads, Von's crew and Quando Rondo's, Tyquan Bowman, entourage, got into it in the parking lot. What started as just words quickly escalated to hands and then ultimately to blicks being drawn. 6 people caught bullets in total, with 3 fatalities, including Von. The other confirmed body was 34-year-old Mark Blakely from the Chip. The whole scene was straight chaos, with multiple shooters busting, including 2 off-duty Atlanta cops who were on security detail at the spot. The surveillance footage, which has been all over the internet since, shows how it started. You can see King Von walk up on Quando Rondo and start throwing hands. The situation got ugly real quick when a man, later ID as Timothy Lul Tim Leaks, a 22-year-old member of Quando's crew, allegedly pulled out and started busting. The Atlanta Police Department said 2 off-duty officers working security at the lounge and 1 on-duty cop who was patrolling nearby tried to break it up. The officers also let off shots during the incident, making it even harder to figure out who hit who. King Von was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but later succumbed to his injuries. According to reports from the Fulton County Medical Examiner, Von caught multiple slugs, with wounds to his torso, right hand, and dome. A shot through his right eye, which exited the back of his skull, was believed to be the one that took him out. Just one day after the shooting on November 7th, 2020, the Atlanta PD announced they had booked Timothy Lul Tim Leaks in connection with Von's death. According to their statement, Leaks was hit with a felony murder charge. When they locked him up, Leaks was actually laid up in the hospital with gunshot wounds he'd caught during the same incident. He'd been hit twice, once in the hip and once in the cheeks, and I don't mean the face. In a recent sit-down, Lul Tim spoke on what happened that night and how he got booked while still in the hospital bed.
Okay, so you're in the hospital, you were shot yourself, and then you actually get arrested for the shooting?
Right, like a couple days later in the hospital, they come chain me to the bed.
Okay, so now you're chained to the bed, you're shot, 2 bullet holes in you, and what are they charging you with at that time?
They don't even tell me what I'm charged with.
Lul Tim later found out just how serious the charges were when they transferred him to Fulton County.
He just come in there, I see the handcuffs, I'm like, oh, I know what he finna do. He like, what did he say? He say something like, you're not charged. He said, you just detained right now. You just detained right now, but you're not charged. He said something like that, but in my head, I already knew what was going on, so I was like, yeah, all right. Like, whatever.
Despite the heavy charge, Lul Tim said his lawyer put some hope in his ear that he might be able to beat the case on self-defense.
You got this, and this. This a high-profile case. He like, it's beatable, though. He was like, I watched the video. You could get self-defense off this, and that. So he telling me that, this, and that. I'm like, all right, like, he telling me good news about it. And me knowing how it happened and how it went down, I'm like, yeah, I really could get self-defense.
Right after the shooting, nobody seemed to have the full story on what really went down or who was to blame. Different narratives started circulating, with some folks saying King Von was actually hit by police bullets rather than by Lul Tim. King Von's ex, Asian Doll, aka Asian Debrat, was one of the loudest voices pushing this alternative story. In tweets that she later deleted, she claimed, "The police said Tim ain't kill him, the police did," suggesting it was the cops' bullets, not Lul Tim's, that took Von out. Adding more confusion to the mix were stories about King Von's sister, Kayla B, and what she did that night. According to Balo, King Von's cousin, Kayla claimed she turned her phone off after hearing about the shooting instead of rushing to the hospital. I don't even be noticing a lot of until they come, and then it'd be making sense. Like, I'm like, damn, that don't make sense. Why would you turn your phone off? Why wouldn't you want to know if your brother good? Why wouldn't you go to the hospital with your brother? But yeah, this behavior had fans and family members both side-eyeing her. As the days went by, more details started coming out about the shooting. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, FBI took over the case because police officers were involved in the shooting. They confirmed 2 bodies and 6 others catching bullets, including Lul Tim. After getting booked, Lul Tim stayed locked up in Fulton County until March 27, 2021, when he posted a $100,000 bond. This was kind of unusual since murder is typically a no-bond offense in Georgia, but Leak's lawyer, Noah Pines, somehow convinced the Superior Court to grant him bond. While out on bond, Lul Tim kept a relatively low profile, though he did drop some music, including a snippet of a track called Off the List, which some fans took as a subliminal reference to his case. In October 2022, Lul Tim caught more cases when he got knocked for drug charges in Georgia, including possession of Schedule 1 and 2 controlled substances and weed. This arrest happened while he was still on bond for the murder charge, making his legal situation even more shaky. During this whole time, tensions were still high between King Von's associates, especially those affiliated with Lil Durk's Only the Family, OTF, label, and Quando Rondo's squad. Social media posts and bars from both sides seemed to be throwing shots, suggesting the beef was far from squashed. These tensions would eventually spark more retaliation and legal troubles, especially as the case against Lul Tim took an unexpected turn. The charges dropped and exclusive revelations. In a shocking plot twist that had the whole hip-hop community buzzing, on August 20th, 2023, almost 3 years after King Von got laid down, all murder charges against Timothy Lul Tim Leaks were tossed out. According to Leaks' attorney, Noah Pines, the case against Mr. Leaks was dismissed prior to ever being indicted. The dismissal was based on Georgia's Stand Your Ground law, with the DA's office apparently believing that Lul Tim was just protecting his mans during the altercation. Under Georgia law, you ain't gotta retreat before using deadly force if you reasonably believe it's necessary to prevent somebody from catching a body or serious bodily harm to yourself or others. In a statement to 11 Alive, Pines confirmed the dismissal, but didn't spill the tea on exactly why the prosecutors backed off. But legal experts suggested that with all the chaos of the shootout, multiple straps being let off and cops busting too, it would have been mad difficult to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Leaks wasn't just trying to protect his homie. Lul Tim himself spoke on the dismissal in a quick interview.
Well, you were lucky to a certain degree because you're in Georgia and Georgia has a stand your ground law.
Right.
If this had happened in LA or New York, you wouldn't have been able to, have that law work in your benefit. And unfortunately, the law works both ways. But in your case, it actually helped you because it was proven that you were protecting your friend and you were standing your ground, and ultimately, they had to drop all the charges.
When asked about how Quando Rondo reacted to the news, Lul Tim shared,
How did Quando react when you finally told him?
I was super happy, but he probably was happier than me. He tried to come through the phone. He like, boy, we finna do this, we finna do that, we finna do this, we finna do that. He making plans for me I ain't even made for my own self. He like, cuz we about to get this real money now, all this type of stuff. Like, he more happier than me.
Just hours after word got out about the charges being dropped, Lul Tim dropped a new track called Left a Stain, where he rapped about beating the case. The music video showed him taking off his ankle monitor, symbolizing he was finally free from the system. The dismissal of charges against Lul Tim didn't put an end to all the different stories floating around about what really happened to King Von. If anything, it just made people argue even harder, especially on social media, where fans, homies, and family members from both sides kept pushing their own versions of events. Asian Doll stuck to her story that it was police bullets, not Lul Tim's, that took Von out. In a tweet she later deleted after hearing about the charges getting dropped, she doubled down with, because the police said Tim ain't kill him, the police did, suggesting that's why they had to let Tim walk. King Von's family was heated about not hearing directly from the DA's office about the dismissal. Meanwhile, the streets of social media were on fire, with fans on Twitter, now X, and Reddit going off, seeing the decision as the system failing Von, rather than justice being served. Multiple sources reported that Asian Doll claimed ballistic evidence showed Lul Tim's bullets didn't match those found in King Von's body, but no official reports or court docs have been released to either confirm or deny this claim. Making things even spicier, Charleston White reportedly disrespected Von's family, calling Lul Tim a hero and bragging about shaking the hand that pulled the trigger. In the months after he beat the case, Lul Tim started talking more openly about his involvement in the incident, dropping new details through a series of interviews. These exclusive revelations, while not actual leaked footage like some clickbait headlines might suggest, give his first-hand account of what went down that night. In one of his most straightforward interviews, Lul Tim admitted to letting off multiple shots at King Von, specifically claiming he squeezed 4 times.
Well, you pull out and you shoot 4 times.
Yeah, the gun jammed.
Oh, the gun jammed?
Yeah.
After the 4th shot?
Probably like the third shot.
Lil Tim also described how he caught bullets himself during the incident, specifically saying it was the police who shot him.
Okay. But after you start shooting, all hell breaks loose. There were off-duty cops in the area, and they start shooting.
Right.
You end up getting shot twice?
Right.
Well, what parts of the body?
I get shot in my right hip bone, and I get shot on my ass.
According to Lil Tim, he managed to keep his cool despite being shot, since this wasn't his first time catching a bullet.
Are you more calm about it this time since you've gone through it before?
Yeah, because like the first time I got shot, I didn't have a panic attack. I was calm. So it's like this time, I knew like, do the same thing, like stay calm and just make sure I get to the hospital.
An interesting detail Lil Tim revealed was that he didn't even recognize King Von during the altercation.
I didn't know neither one if he was gone or still alive. I just, like I say, I didn't even know it was him. So I didn't even know if he was dead or alive. I just was trying to make sure Quando was good.
He also addressed rumors that were circulating about King Von supposedly using Quando Rondo as a human shield during the fight.
By him getting shot in the back, he probably was like, his body was just locked on to him from holding him. Like, people would think he was trying to take his chain or something like that, but I don't really think it was that. I really just think like, his body was just locked on and he couldn't let go.
Perhaps most surprisingly, Lil Tim claimed he had no idea about any pre-existing beef between King Von and Quando Rondo. When asked about where the conflict might have started, including rumors about NBA Youngboy, Asian Doll, and Jania, Youngboy's baby mama, Lil Tim insisted these issues were never even discussed in their circle.
That type don't even be on our mind. But like you say though, like he never talked to me about nothing about that situation.
Yeah, listen, unless I hear something different, all these reasons sound stupid and petty.
In October 2024, Lil Tim announced he was dropping a multi-part documentary series titled Book of Timothy, produced by BMS Studios, Hoodstar Films, and Say Cheese TV. According to the promo materials, the doc promises new details and new evidence related to the case. The trailer features interviews with Lil Tim, Quando Rondo, Charleston White, among others, and claims to serve up never-before-seen content related to the incident. The first episode, A Mother's Prayer, was made available for purchase at $5.99, with a full subscription needed to access all 8 episodes. This announcement sparked major controversy, with critics, including Asian Doll, accusing Lil Tim of trying to profit off King Von's death. After the documentary's trailer dropped, Asian Doll once again claimed that Lil Tim wasn't responsible for King Von's death, which led Tim to respond cryptically on X, formerly Twitter, suggesting Asian Doll must not have seen the video, though he didn't specify which video he was talking about. While the documentary's been hyped as containing exclusive footage, we should clarify that based on all available info, there's no new video footage of the actual shooting that Lil Tim has released. Instead, the exclusive content seems to be Lil Tim's detailed interviews and recollections, along with possibly unseen footage from other aspects of his life or aftermath of the incident. Ever since King Von got laid to rest, numerous conspiracy theories have been floating around, with many suggesting the shooting wasn't just some random run-in, but a premeditated setup. Balo questioned several aspects of the incident, especially why Von's security let him get into a physical altercation in the first place.
And he wanted to go back to his B&B, but he at another club, sleep in the car, and somebody wake him up to fight. And as soon as he fight, his security guard let him walk. You get paid he get paid to protect. How the you let him walk over and fight? You ain't even supposed to let him fight.
Another red flag, according to Balo, was that King Von's whip had allegedly been switched from a bulletproof truck to a regular vehicle that night.
I ain't disclosing no names with that one, but somebody told me that he had because I wasn't there. Somebody told me that he had well, I know his original driver, he African man, and he had like a bulletproof truck. But all of a sudden, that African man wasn't available.
He speculated this change might have been on purpose.
So basically, if he didn't get out that car and fight, like whoever wanted him to fight, if he ain't got that car and fight, they would have shot him while he was driving because they switched the truck out. They switched the truck out from a bulletproof truck to a regular truck. He's a hot artist. Why would y'all do that? The night of all this.
There have also been rumors, though unconfirmed, that somebody might have paid Lil Tim to take out King Von. Balo mentioned hearing whispers about this.
Yeah, that's See, that's what I heard too. I heard that, you know. So basically, the shit that I heard, I went and just said everything on live. So basically, somebody supposed to have took Lil Tim some money in 2020 or something like that. And I don't know what it's for, but that's what I heard.
It's important to stress that these are still just allegations without solid evidence backing them up. The official investigation ended with the dismissal of charges against Lil Tim, suggesting that the authorities viewed the incident as self-defense rather than a planned hit. The fallout from King Von's death not only fueled the ongoing conflict between OTF and Quando Rondo's crew, but also led to legal complications for Lil Durk, allegedly stemming from retaliatory actions for Von's killing. The aftermath and ongoing feuds. King Von's murder wasn't the end of the bloodshed, but rather the spark that lit up an ongoing cycle of get back that's continued to claim lives and put people in bracelets. The most significant development in this saga involves Lil Durk, King Von's day one and mentor, who's now facing serious federal charges allegedly connected to avenging Von's death. On October 24, 2024, Lil Durk got snatched up near Miami International Airport on federal charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire. According to the criminal complaint, Durk, real name Dirk Banks, allegedly orchestrated a plot to smoke Quando Rondo as payback for King Von. The hit, which went down on August 19, 2022, almost 2 years after Von's murder, resulted in a shooting at an LA gas station. While Quando Rondo made it out unscathed, his cousin, Saviaya Lul Pab Robinson, caught a fatal bullet in the attack. Federal prosecutors allege Durk offered money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF to anyone who helped take out Quando Rondo. 5 associates of King Von and Lil Durk Kayvon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and Asa Houston also got hit with related charges, including conspiracy and gun charges. Court docs claim the squad used OTF-linked credit cards to pay for flights, rental whips, and hotel rooms connected to the plot. In December 2024, a judge ordered Lil Durk to stay locked up while waiting for trial, saying he was a flight risk due to his bread and resources. The trial, initially set for January 7, 2025, was pushed back to October 2025, with both the prosecution and defense agreeing the case is so unusual and so complex that they needed more time to get ready. Lil Durk pleaded not guilty to all charges and hired big-time Atlanta attorney Drew Finley, known for repping high-profile clients, including former President Donald Trump. In April 2025, his legal team filed to have the indictment tossed, arguing that prosecutors misunderstood evidence, including song lyrics, that were written before the shooting ever happened. The case has sparked debate over using rap lyrics as evidence, a practice that's been criticized in other cases too, including Young Thug's. Durk's defense is saying his bars in songs like Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy have been taken out of context and don't prove any criminal intent, making the situation even messier. In February 2025, Lil Pab's mother filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Lil Durk in Cook County Court, holding him responsible for her son catching a stray in the botched hit. As of late April 2025, Lil Durk remains in custody, with a bond hearing set for May 8, 2025, according to posts on X and other social media platforms. Throughout the years since King Von got laid to rest, his former shorty Asian Doll has consistently maintained that Lil Tim wasn't the one who bodied Von. She's repeatedly claimed that police bullets, not Lil Tim's, were what took Von out. In October 2024, after the trailer for Lil Tim's documentary dropped, Asian Doll renewed these claims in a now-deleted tweet, stating that Lil Tim's bullets didn't match those found in King Von's body. Lil Tim clapped back cryptically on X, asking must be didn't see the video, though he didn't specify which video he was talking about. According to social media reports, Asian Doll went at Lil Tim for trying to claim a body he didn't drop and accused him of exploiting Von's death to get his bag up through his documentary. Public reaction to these ongoing back and forths has been mixed, with fans of both King Von and Quando Rondo / Lil Tim choosing sides on social media. Some of Von's supporters see Lil Tim's music drops and his documentary as disrespecting Von's memory, while others argue that he beat the case fair and square and has every right to tell his side of the story. On Reddit forums like R King Von and R Chiricology, the discussions often dive deep into analyzing the case details and debating all the different narratives. According to a deep dive into these forums, fans are deeply divided, with some accepting the self-defense angle, while others are calling for street justice against Lil Tim. As one Reddit user reportedly commented, he was defending his friend. The judge looked at Von's record and threw the case in the garbage, reflecting the view that Lil Tim was just doing what the law allows. Others were straight heated, posting comments like, man, this is what. All Block wanted and Von wanted Lil Tim dead, not locked up. Give it a year and he's gonna be dead, showing their desire for get back. Despite all the tragedy and controversy surrounding his death, King Von's legacy as an artist keeps growing. His posthumous album, Grandson, dropped in July 2023 and did numbers, showing his fan base is still strong. The album included the video for Don't Miss, which was shot before his passing. Von's unique style of storytelling rap, especially his vivid narratives about life in the trenches of Chicago, has influenced a whole generation of drill artists. Bangers like Crazy Story and Took Her to the O still go hard, showcasing his talent for painting pictures with his words about life in the hood. However, Von's legacy is complicated by allegations about his involvement in violence beyond his music. A controversial 2023 YouTube documentary titled King Von Rap's First Serial Killer by content creator Trap Lore Ross claimed Von was linked to multiple bodies, including that of 17-year-old Gakira K.I. Barnes in 2014. The documentary caught major heat from Von's family and fans, was temporarily yanked from YouTube, and got criticized for factual errors and sensationalism. Von's death has also sparked deeper conversations about violence in hip-hop, particularly in the drill scene, where lyrics often reflect and sometimes glorify real street beefs. Some argue that the culture around drill music contributes to endless cycles of violence, while others see it as just keeping it real about the struggles young people face in communities plagued by poverty and limited opportunities. On social media platforms like Reddit, fans have called for real change, with one user reportedly commenting, "Most people in the hood need a therapist and a safe environment, not to grab a gun." This shows a growing recognition that addressing the root causes of violence requires more than just individual accountability. If you like this video and wish to see more similar content, click the videos suggesting on your screen.